Today is February 24th. The rundown. K. Marco joins us. Why? Because KFC said you couldn't do it, and then you're like doing it. So that was confusing how you
We're doing it an hour and a half earlier than usual.
An hour, I mean.
Dave, before we start, can I just say I don't disagree with you on a lot of things, but I think selling the Bill Belichick Foundation for our own profit on our Barstool store is kind of fucked up.
I won't do that. You can buy this. This is my friend Bill Belichick. We promoted the sweatshirt. So you can buy these. They're $50. It's a lot of money, but it goes to charity. So I would never do that. I'm Team Belichick. If he tells me I have to make all my Belichick shit for charity, I do it. That's how I operate. I'm Team Bill. Whatever he wants, he wants. So I'm doing this out of, this is advertising. This is, I'm on the team. This is, we need one for the thumb. So don't try to mislead the public. Let's start with you, Big Cat. You're kind of frozen right now, so I can't see your reactions, which stink, but hopefully you'll kick out of that. Chicago, you died last night. Like, your best players in every sport all died. And I don't know, how you feeling about just your city being in ruins?
It was not a good night. I basically said it's like when you're a little kid in the schoolyard and someone throws a ball up in the air and you go to catch it, and when you're looking at the ball in the air, someone pelts you in the dick with another ball. That's what it felt like. We all kind of saw the Derrick Rose. That ball's always floating up in the air. His legs are shitty. They're just shitty legs. He has bad legs, and it's cruel, and it's awful. And then the Patrick Kane thing was the extra ball that went right into everyone's penis. So, real bad night, and yeah, that's it. We're basically done. So, in 4 months, when it gets nice in Chicago, when the weather turns, like maybe we'll be able to have a little bit of a smile on our face. But for right now, everything sucks.
All right, K. Marco.
All right. Yeah, I'm not a huge hockey guy, but I'm a big basketball fan, and the Derrick Rose thing is just like really sad. Like everyone's saying that Twitter's overreacting and acting like he died and stuff, but I don't really agree with that because it is like
our guy downstairs, Feidelberg, is huge into. He was mad that Twitter acted like he died.
We talked about it for 2 seconds.
Yeah,
you brought it up out of the blue. I mean that.
Dan and I were talking about it.
All right, well, you brought it up out of the blue to me.
John texted me about that too this morning, and it's like he obviously didn't die, but his career basically died. And even if he's gonna come back, but still, like no one's gonna enjoy watching him play because every time he touches the ball or takes a step on the court, you're just gonna be waiting for one of his legs to snap.
KFC?
Here's why it is an overreaction. Because Derrick Rose was done anyway. He was never going to be the player he was. Like, the first injury was the real shame. What? You really had high hopes for him, Dan? He was always going to be this timid, scared player from now on. So you're losing like the last fragments of Derrick Rose.
All right. Well, I've watched every single Bulls game this year, and he definitely showed a lot of flashes of being the old Derrick Rose and attacking the rim, and just recently he's been playing that way. So to say he was totally dumb and totally like not playing this like the old Derrick Rose, I just honestly don't think you've watched him at all this year.
I just don't think you could ever really think you were going to get that Rose ever again for an extended period of time. He's never shown any signs of being consistently healthy. So why this one now all of a sudden is like he's dead, he's gone is crazy.
All right. First of all, no one expected him to stay healthy forever. I agree with that. But to just blatantly say that he was like not even close to what he was and he stunk, I honestly don't think you've watched any Derrick Rose this year. So that's just crazy.
I'm just saying he's not an MVP candidate anymore. That guy is already gone. So this injury is like now you're losing the last half of Derrick Rose.
To say he was 50% is also incorrect.
All right. Well, if you want to not understand what I'm saying, like you never.
No, exactly what you're saying. I understand exactly what you're saying. I honestly don't think that like to say that Derrick Rose had nothing like he was nothing like he was is just blatantly wrong because there were many times this year where he was exactly like he was. He just was starting to put it together and starting to get it all together. And yes, it does suck because now obviously, he had played 35 games in a row healthy. We all thought, yeah, maybe he's okay now. And it just didn't work out.
That's the thing.
I would say that
it's the battered wife syndrome where you just kept buying into it despite clearly seeing an injury history that was only pointing towards utter doom at any moment. And I get it. It sucks. I'm just saying, like, this is not like an out of nowhere one-time career
No one
ending
said
injury.
it was. No one said it was. The
It's
only
like,
thing
you know,
I had
you saw the writing on the wall with guys like Brandon Roy. You've seen it with Penny
did I
Hardaway.
say-
It's just the next version of it, and it sucks.
All right. I just said, like, my whole thing was that the ball was always floating up in the air with Derrick Rose, and you always knew that he could get injured again. So I admitted that. What I'm disagreeing with you is you blatantly saying that he was nothing like he used to be, and he never would be anything like he used to be, when he clearly was showing that he was on the way back to being that, and many times this year was that player. When he would score 30 points and 10 assists and attack the rim all night, you'd say, oh, man, that's still Derrick Rose. So to say that he was just, like, never going to be back is crazy, because he was, and I saw it, and I watched it.
And then as far as the idea on Twitter where, like K. Marco said, like, his career is dead, I get it, and that sucks. And people were like, this is a guy who has nothing else in life. Basketball was everything to him. He's still got $300 million. He has a $200 million shoe deal, a $100 million basketball contract. It's not like Derrick Rose's life is in shambles. His career's over. It's very sad. I get it. But as a person, as a human, he's still doing okay.
First of all, Hank, how awkward is that listening to those two fight? I'm not used to that. Usually they're together.
I didn't see that coming. That was KFC, sports talk radio hot take saying Derrick Rose can't play like Derrick Rose anymore. I didn't see that coming from him anywhere.
And KFC.
I just think that I get where Bulls fans would want to buy back into it and would want to have hope. But I think anyone waiting on the outside was just waiting for this to happen.
I admitted that. I admitted that he could easily get injured at any time. But to say he wasn't like even close to the same player, just blatantly wrong.
And then you dropped on him your thing like you whenever someone disagrees with you, Dan. There, the sports talk radio Skip Bayless. I love it. This is great stuff. This is great stuff.
Because I know for a fact Kevin hasn't watched any Bulls games.
No, I'm just saying if
And
someone
that's why I can
disagrees,
have
they become
perspective
Skip
about
Bayless.
it. I haven't sat around watching Bulls games.
This is great.
Because you've never seen him play.
Get me some popcorn. This is good stuff. The one thing I will say on my thing, and Dan, I saw you tweet this before, and I got into a fight with people last night because I tweeted out, I saw a lot of people being like, he's so unlucky. He's not unlucky. He's fragile.
He's got shitty legs.
Yeah, so but that to me, like the McShade quote, the best ability is availability. That's part of your package. Like if you're fragile. People went bananas on me when I said that yesterday. Bananas.
That's what makes it so. That's what makes it sad. That's what makes it cruel. That's why you can still feel bad for a guy, even though he's a millionaire. The fact that he has all the tools and the athleticism to be an all-time player, except he doesn't have the fucking durability. That's sad. Right. That's really sad.
But that's a tool. That's all my point. That's like a tool.
But he has all the athleticism in the world, and his just knees won't let him play. That's sad.
Right. No, it is sad, but it's not. All I was saying is the people who are saying he's unlucky. No, he's not. This is who he is. It's part of his package. And people went nuts. And I did tweet that. I think people just are starting not to like Boston people. Like whatever we say, it's like they're just mad because we win so much. But. It is
Gotta
sad.
get that in there somehow, Dave, right?
No, I think that's really what it is. Like, I make a fair point on Twitter that Dan actually said the same exact thing. Like, he's got shitty legs, and people were fucking...
you just made it you make it from a different perspective because you're almost mocking. Like, you came on Twitter and was like, you sort of mocked me with the tweet you sent to me. Like, it's a different tone.
Those were two different tweets.
Yeah, I know. You understand why. I mean, you are who you are. So when you come on Twitter and start, tweeting shit, people are generally going to be like, Dave is just trying to rile people up and, get everyone upset.
My tweet about it being not luck was fair. The tweet when I sent my condolences to you was me taking, a stick and just poking you in the ribs. Two totally different tweets. K. Marco, you blogged this one. Homeless running back from... Baylor. Basically, he got offered a place to live, accepted it, and now suspended by the NCAA because he's accepting gifts, I guess is the take here. So what do you got here, K. Marco?
All right, so the Baylor kid. I don't know if you guys saw the story, but I put the Sports Illustrated article in my blog. You should check it out. But basically, footnotes are this kid was homeless in high school. He still got 4.1 GPA, got a scholarship to Cornell, went to Cornell. His dad died. He came back home to be closer to his mom. couldn't get into Baylor right away. He was busting tables 12 hours a day, still getting like straight A's. Finally got into Baylor. Long story short, he was still homeless and he was sleeping on apartment floors. And someone, like a friend or family member, gave him a place to stay. So he slept on that floor instead. And the NCAA just came down on him, told him he's ineligible, kicked him off the team, and everyone's pissed about it. Basically, this is something I cover all the time, the NCAA being assholes. And it gets kind of old, but I like hammering them any chance I get because people need to see the type of shit that they do. Like the amount of money that they make without paying anybody, and then instead they focus all their attention on kicking homeless kids out of apartments that they got. Like someone just put a roof over their head, and they feel that that's the type of person they need to target and punish and kick off a team. It pisses me off every time I read it. So,
Big Cat.
Yeah, this is like NCAA 101, right? This is straight out of the book. This is how they always operate. They are the guy in your office who like reads the employee handbook on the first day and like highlights it. So they every single time there's like a little tiny infraction, they're ready to come down on you, and they don't realize that there are humans involved, and you can maybe take it on a case by case basis.
KFC.
I think the problem is that they can't take it case by case. Because to clarify, did this guy get like given an apartment, like a full, someone's paying for it?
Yes.
Or is it just like, you can stay with me?
No, someone's paying for the apartment, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, this is like a real sad story where this guy deserves it, but you can't have other kids getting apartments paid for. You know what I mean? Like who just don't deserve it, but they're a 5-star recruit. Here's an apartment. So it does have to kind of be like a blanket rule. So I see where the NCAA is kind of like, they got to do this. If they're going to uphold the rest of their rules, they have to do it to this kid, even though it sucks. That being said, they're fucking dicks. Why doesn't he have housing? Why can't they just have him live on campus? What's up with that?
I don't know. That's the part I didn't get. But I said in the blog, I agree with what you're saying. The rules are rules. But the problem is the rules in the first place are just absolute bullshit. So
change it for everyone.
Yeah, and to be clear, I've never wanted college players to be paid before, like a few years ago, doing all these blogs. But now, just on the principle of seeing these stories, like homeless kids who can't live in an apartment while they're making all this money, just the principle of it is what bothers me.
So what? He's not on scholarship, obviously, right? Or he's on academic or something?
I didn't understand the whole scholarship thing because he had to earn his way into Baylor and he got like a federal grant, but I don't think they gave him a scholarship that would cover like housing because he didn't have housing. So I mean,
this is as much on Baylor as it is on anybody else. Like, give the kid a fucking house. KFC, your rule thing. I mean, you can say that with anything. You need brains. Like, the second you take brains out of like decisions,
they're cyborg. The NCAA is like a big robot that just they don't. Nothing is real to them.
Right, and I do wonder, sometimes I think with the NCAA, because this will obviously be changed, by the way, whenever the NCAA gets lit up like this, they always backtrack, and they do make an exception, and it happens like the guy in the Army or whatever. It always happens when it gets publicized. My question always with these is, like, did the NCAA actually know what they were doing, or was it just like a rubber stamp going across, and there's no one actually being like, oh, this kid's homeless, by the way, or it's just some automated system, and then when everyone freaks out, somebody looks like, oh, well, that's wrong. Quick question, K. Marco, though. Did I hear you say he got into Cornell but couldn't get into Baylor?
No, he went to Cornell, and then he left because he wanted to be closer to home, but he couldn't get in right away. I don't know if it was transfer rules or something, so he went to community college for a year, bust tables to make some money, and then got into Baylor.
That's
also
weird too,
Keith. And you'll probably, by the time we end this, you'll blog this. But the NCAA, someone just attached me to a tweet. The NCAA just tweeted a story. Iowa State forward Daniel Edozie has come a long way since growing up homeless. So they're just trolling. Like that just happened a second ago.
Those are two big topics, or just we're having technical difficulties. Bo Ryan, your boy, Wisconsin, interrupt the Maryland press conference, said they had to get on a plane, get out of there.
Big play for us down the stretch. Oh.
I was just going to say, we have a flight to catch.
Okay, you told you, man.
I don't know how long the press conference is going in, or Bo Ryan just does whatever Bo Ryan wants to do. I'm also going to say something that bothers me, because you're a Wisconsin guy. Michigan's not in the running unless they do something shocking in the tournament. I actually like Wisconsin. I like their basketball team, which stinks because I don't want to root for them because of you. But yeah, what do you got on your boy Bo Ryan?
This was such a classic Bo Ryan move. I mean, he honestly, he's so scary as a person. I said last night he got mad at the refs and he just like held a point at one of the refs' faces for a solid 10 seconds. That was just terrifying. But this is Bo Ryan basically saying, like, you're Maryland. You guys just joined the Big Ten. I know you beat us, but it was on the road, whatever. If we played neutral site, we'd kick the shit out of you. Now get out of my face and let me do a press conference. I mean, that's totally emasculating. He totally emasculated the Maryland coach in his own house.
Okay, Marco?
Yeah, it's so funny. You need to watch the full video on the blog, not just the Vine, because Turgeon's just talking, and then Bo Ryan like walks across the back, comes back, pats him, and is like, all right, I got a plane to catch. And Turgeon's like kind of laughing, like, oh, this is funny. And Bo Ryan's like, no, get the fuck out of here. And then their plane got stranded, so it was basically just the worst night ever. And anytime that I have a chance to put that Bo Ryan doing the Soulja Boy video in a blog, I'm going to do it.
Soulja Boy, I'm in it. Why me crack it? Why me roll? Why me crack that Soulja Boy? That Superman? That now why me you crack that Soulja? 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 Now what?
KFC?
Yeah, I mean, Bo Ryan just seems like a miserable prick. Just get upset. And the fact that the Maryland coach tried to play it off like, oh, I'm not getting shit down my throat right now. He was kind of like, oh, yeah, okay, I get it. Like, no, man. He basically just spit in your face and everyone saw it.
Go ahead.
No, I have nothing. You can go.
Oh, I was going to say, as much as I love Bo Ryan, he still does have to win a national championship to be considered like an all-time great. Because he actually has the numbers now where everything else is there. Like, he could be on the Izzo level, that Izzo Boeheim second level behind, like, the Coach K's, Dean Smith guys. He just needs a national title.
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep in. He's at Wisconsin, so I mean, he's playing with like 5 white guys every single year. So what he does is pretty remarkable. I will say, I haven't been watching as much college hoop as I usually do because I haven't been gambling like a degenerate when I watch every game. Maryland scares me. I would be that point guard they have, the freshman. Woo, that's a guy who can take over a game in the tournament. They would make me nervous to go up against in the tournament. Last up, Dez Bryant. So this tape that is hanging over people's heads, it's 5 times worse supposedly than what Ray Rice did, which essentially means he murdered somebody, like he murdered a chick and maybe raped her dead body. That's like where you get 5 times worse than like what Ray Rice did. So people are saying that it's being sold. I haven't seen it. No one's offered it to us. So I don't believe any of that. We should be on like the top 50 will you buy it list. We won't buy it, but we should be there. I don't know what to think of it. There's so much smoke that you got to think there's fire. It started off people saying it was maybe a negotiating tactic by the Cowboys. I think we're way beyond that. I don't know what the fuck's going on. KFC?
It's crazy. It's like it's being hyped up like a movie release. You know what I mean? Like premiere night is tonight when this shit drops. I don't know how bad it could be. I was reading some shit that apparently it was filmed by like his former friends. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it was something that was filmed by friends that he, like, that was done in, like he knew they were being filmed at the time because his buddies were filming it. I don't know what it could be. If he was maybe fucking around with a chick when she was drunk, it's a lot more like rape. I don't know. To say it's like way worse than Ray Rice, like you said, it's going to have to be, you have to blow your socks off. So I don't know if it's going to live up to the quote-unquote hype. I just feel sick and, like, it makes my skin crawl that I'm waiting to see what's happening. It's like a snuff film, you know?
Okay, Marco?
Yeah, the sources are pretty weird on it, too. Like, I think it was Therese Owens, which I didn't even know was still around, and then 2 Chainz's producer was the guy on Twitter last night that everyone was blogging about today. I haven't really seen anything, like, legit about it, so I don't know how much I trust 2 Chainz's producer on this one.
Or Therese Owens is also, they've been right, I think, about some stuff, but more way off about more. Big Cat?
I don't think a tape exists, and I obviously saying this right now, I'm sure by the time the rundown's posted, there'll be like a tape of him, raping a whole village of children or something, like crazy. I don't think a tape exists. I think basically what happened was he doesn't have the best pass. He's got a checkered pass. He's probably done some shady shit in his life. And some people who realize he's about to be a free agent realize they can take advantage of him and be like, hey, man, we have a tape of you doing that thing. And Dez Bryant's like, oh, fuck, that thing? And then, like, that's all that started. and now he's getting extorted. There's no real tape. They just basically are making him think that there's a tape, and because he's kind of a scumbag to begin with, there very well could be a tape, but they don't have a tape, and that's what's going on.
Yeah, it's not a bad theory. It's not a bad theory. So if you just are like, we have you doing that thing, you can keep on extorting him too under your theory. Like there's a million potential Dez Bryant tapes of him doing stuff. I like that theory. My theory was going to be, I don't think there's a tape, because if there was and he knew it, then you have to come out. You don't wait for the tape to drop on your head. You already tell everyone you release the tape or tell people what it is first. But like Big Cat said, maybe he doesn't even know what the tape is. Maybe he just assumes there's thousands of tapes of him being a hood rat. So who fucking knows? You may be right.
I just came up with that there, and I think it's actually correct.
It's not.
I'm still not ready to say that Jerry Jones isn't somehow involved, because he's just driving the price down.
Yeah. But at some level, it's gotten to the point. It's like it's the tape is real. Even it's like LeBron James Delonte West fucked LeBron James' mother. Like, that happened. It may not have happened.
But it's the perfect guy. He's the perfect guy, because we all know he's been in trouble in the past.
Yeah.
He's had a checkered history. You can't do this to a guy who's like...
No, right.
Right. So he's just, there's a tape, Dez. I might fucking call up Dez Bryant and say I got a tape. Like, I remember, dude. You don't remember me from Oklahoma State? I got a tape of you.
You could do that to me on, like, the Blackout Tour. Be like, I got a tape of you at the Blackout Tour. Fuck, I'll buy it. Like, I don't know. Like, all right. Done.
Shit.
All right. That's the rundown. No after show. I got a meeting at Milton's Store for Men.
You going in the hoodie?
No. Maybe. Yeah, what else? All right, rundown.